And joining me now, LAPD Commander Cory Palka. Cory, thank you so much for taking the time. First and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, Charissa. Thank you for reaching out.
Absolutely. Your video has went viral, not just here in Los Angeles, but everywhere. And walk us through that moment, because watching the video and in such a chaotic time, what went through your mind right before you were about to take a knee?
Well, as I said, I'm a peacekeeper. All of us in the Los Angeles Police Department are hired and trained to keep the peace and protect in Los Angeles. Clearly, that hasn't gone well the last few days. You know what? I'm an inner city kid from the housing projects. I have 8 brothers and sisters. My dad was a working class janitor. I come from difficult roots. I love the city of Los Angeles. I was raised here. I found my way to USC to get a master's degree on a father who was a janitor. And to play inner city sports and to be now in the Los Angeles Police Department for 34 years has allowed me or enabled me to go in there during that difficult time and use the conflict resolution skills and some diffusion tactics or diffusion techniques. Just try to bring peace to the people. And in the end, that what it was all about. It was just trying to bring peace and meet with organizers and show our hearts and show that we are in pain and show that this is a very difficult time and show that we did not want conflict, that we wanted to shake hands and begin the healing process. And that was just a good opportunity to do so on that afternoon.
And you did so beautifully. So what is your advice to some other communities and officers around this country who haven't been so effective in reaching out to the community as peacefully as you did?
Well, my advice to all communities and all police departments is to talk. We need to talk. We need to communicate. As difficult as it is by strapping on helmets and putting on tactical gear, the first step needs to be to step across the line, to step between the boundaries, to shake an organizer's hand and to find the opportunity and the outlet to heal wounds. It's very difficult. These are unfolding emergencies that are dangerous. We've had officers who've been killed now around the country, officers who have been injured here in Los Angeles. It's a very delicate balance, but it has to be the first step.
Mm-hmm. When you saw that video, the first time you saw the George Floyd video, Cory, what went through your mind?
Well, it was a horrible experience, a horrible situation to see all the efforts in community policing continue not to be successful by the acts of that police officer, by the acts of the officer standing around and watching was abhorrent. It was shocking, and I'm aghast that officers wearing uniforms would continue to conduct themselves that way.
Do incidents like this, Cory, make it difficult for you to do your job when you're asking the community to trust you and trust is at an all-time low?
Absolutely. Officers work tirelessly every day to do good deeds. If you look through social media, you'll see the millions of clips of officers going into communities and doing things to build relationships. And then you have incidents that have taken place now nationally for quite some time that just erase all those good acts that police officers do.
We've seen innumerable amounts of demonstrations of peaceful protests, but then also all of the looting. How do you rationalize this, and how do you sort of explain what is happening in the world right now? Because there are the peaceful side, and then there's the destructive side.
So, I've been out there several days now. When you evaluate what is happening, 99% of the protesters are peaceful and law-abiding, hardworking people in the city of Los Angeles and throughout the country. They're good people in protest. Unfortunately, a small group, a small minority group within the larger group has taken to violence and destruction and has destroyed the message due to that violence, looting, and destruction, because now that seems to have captivated the national timeline or the national framework in lieu of the principal purpose of why they're demonstrating and why they're so frustrating. They're so frustrated, I should say.
As an LAPD commander, where do you go from here? What are the next steps that you are actively taking in your position?
So we reach out to our stakeholders. We try to strike a common bond with those we have been working with in the communities, the clergy, school leaders, business leaders, people in Los Angeles who are entertainment leaders, to go with us back into the communities to start the healing process. The only way this healing process will begin is when we can sit down and continue to try to work through the conflict that has been so apparent the last few days. It takes a lot of hours of work. but we're committed to doing it, and I'm committed to doing it. That's the message we send to our officers. I tell people it starts with a hello. I wish people on the other side of the hello would say, thank you, officers. Thank you for serving. As you know, Charissa, the vast majority of police officers in this nation serve and protect every day and do good deeds every day. But it's sad and a tragedy that these incidents keep coming back to fruition that just mar and tarnish the reputation of all good policing in America.
Well, you're an incredible example of the good that is out there. How do you summarize, if you can, the emotion that you felt that day when you took a knee and you saw the response that you got?
Well, a lot of people have reached out. I just feel gratitude that I was put in a position to try and strike an accord and reach out across lines and make one line, one community. It's my obligation. It's my responsibility. It's how my parents raised me. And I'm grateful to have had the opportunity. I know others will follow. And I hope we can get peace here in Los Angeles and get back to opening up this city and getting people back to work and reconnecting in the one city of Los Angeles as we need to know, as we should know, and that will happen very soon.
Well, you definitely lead by examples in more ways than one, Cory. All of the chaos that's happening in the world right now, you are leading peacefully in that, but you are also recovering from COVID-19, right? You were diagnosed positive to COVID-19, and how are you feeling on the heels of that?
Tired. Yeah. Actually very tired. It's exhausting. I still feel there's some slight ramifications related to exhaustion maybe. But more importantly, you know what? I donated plasma. I've donated my blood continuously, and I will donate my organs. And I will donate my organs to any body that these organs will work in. I believe that in my heart, and I believe there's others who stand behind me who'll do the same.
Aw, you are the epitome of to protect and serving. You do both of those things well, but I just want to make sure that you're feeling good. And you mentioned the plasma, encouraging other people, of course, to do the same. I can imagine that that's a very gratifying moment where you can give back physically in that capacity.
To raise your hand and say, I will give my plasma, I will give my blood, I will give my organs to serve others, to serve mankind. I think that's a great way to foster a great healing process. And if we can all come together and care about every one of us by donating what's inside our bodies, which includes our heart, by the way, I think that would be a fantastic road to healing.
So I know that you were recovering from COVID, so you had a lot of time to sit in front of the TV and watch The Last Dance, right? Documenting the Chicago Bulls dynasty in the 90s. But you got a front row seat to Michael Jordan because is this true that you were in the movie Space Jam?
Yes, Charissa. Actually, when I was a young officer a couple of decades ago now, I was the baseball pitcher in one of the first scenes of the movie Space Jam. And it was a scene that took 4 or 5 days to film. I was a former baseball pitcher in college and in high school, and to work with Michael Jordan and his team and the whole crew and be a part of that Space Jam film was something special for me in my younger life, and something that my friends and family still kind of give me a hard time about. It was an interesting few days. I had a good few pitches in me. Unfortunately, many hit Michael Jordan, and I think the directors were concerned. I got so wild because we had to continue to do it that they ended up having a stand. And then actually I was so wild because I hadn't pitched in years because I was a young officer that I was getting booed by the fans who were paid to be in the fans. So it was quite shameful and humiliating that I had to hit Michael Jordan as the pitcher in a movie. I know he's taking a lot of hits on the court, but I'm sure he didn't appreciate my wild fastballs.
I was going to say, forget the bad boys in Detroit. Your errant throws are sidelining him.
Yeah, it wasn't good, actually. The director and producers were quite upset I couldn't throw a strike.
Well,
that's kind of the story of my life.
That's great. Well, your life has been full of many different chapters. This, of course, probably being the most important. We are so happy that you are safe and you are healthy and you are leading by example. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Charissa.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.